Hey, sorry. Someone messaged me and I had to respond. It shouldn't be this hard to see your children. If you have a spouse, that cooperates with you, then you're lucky. If they are amicable, Paul Brian Baca is not amicable. He's a monster. What he's doing, and Samuel Baca and Ginny Schulte from Albuquerque, they're all monsters. They're evil. They wouldn't have those children if it wasn't for me. And when he started working in Sandia in Albuquerque, he used to call the kids every single night. And he would want to talk to them, even if they're sleeping. And I haven't been able to talk to my kids at all. He's a monster, an absolute monster. He's not just hurting me, but he's hurting my children too. He's brainwashing them, putting thoughts in their head. There's no justice. None. No one cares about parental alienation. The trauma that it causes. What it does to the parent. You have no idea. To have your kids stripped from you and to not be able to see them. Not be able to talk to them. My son was 6. He was 6, my youngest. And he's not let me talk to my son. And the court can do nothing to stop it. Stephen Clump did nothing. Armageddon did nothing. They treated me like I was garbage. That I meant nothing to my children. They wouldn't even let me see my kids on Sundays. There's no humanity. There's none. Because the people that care can't do anything. And the people that don't care have the means, but they don't want to do anything. I can't tell you the trauma it does to the parent that's alienated. They expect me to go on about my life and forget about my kids and wait for my children to reach out to me. I'm a mother. I didn't give birth to 3 kids to be on my own. The court had the power to give the kids their mom and their father, and they choose just to give it to their father. And I was denied everything. I was cut out of their life. I was given no choice. I was told that my kids can reach out to me if they want. But for 8 years, he's been telling the children, him and his father and his mother, Paul Brian Baca, that lives in Red Bloom Road, that works in Sandia because his Uncle Danny gave him the job. And his father, ex-police chief Samuel Baca, and his mother, Ginny Schulte Riedel, from a park above. They are monsters. They are evil. evil monsters. Who does this to kids? Who does this? It affects me every day, not seeing my kids. It affects me every day. And there's no closure. It's not like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because this has been going on for 8 years. Where's the light? Where's the shining light? I just can't understand why the court doesn't care. Why Stephen Clump never cared, and why Armin Curry never cared, and CYFT never cared. Because children, I have no proof that they're being abused. Mental abuse means nothing. Psychological abuse means nothing. Do you know the trauma it's caused me not seeing my kids? Not being able to talk to my children. Not being able to have that relationship. It's a void that's inside of you. Like a big void that no one can understand. And it's scars that no one can see. I'm traumatized by everything I went through by the court, by Stephen Clump and Armin Carrion and Deborah Ramirez. And Lamar in Santa Fe. I'm traumatized. I am so traumatized by everything that they put me through. By not having proper lawyer to defend me, because it costs so much money. Just because they have more money doesn't make them better people. Doesn't. Where's my rights as a mom? I have nothing. Nothing. He can take him out of the country, and he doesn't even have to ask me. My kids can be in hospital, and he doesn't have to tell me. I have no rights as a mother. He told the court that I abused my children. No, I was a horrible mom. And I don't know what he's been telling my kids, because they won't talk to me. I'm traumatized. I can't tell you how traumatized I am from going through this, from dealing with it, because it doesn't go away. I didn't have 3 children to be alone, and I'm alone. I'm alone in New Mexico. Yes, Paul Brian Baca has his mother and father and his cousins and aunts and uncles, and he has his job. He's got everything. And I didn't get anything, guarding the kids. I got nothing. Everything was taken away from me because they wouldn't allow the children to testify. Jack Schooley went on the stand and told the court that my kids said I abused them. And they wouldn't let the children testify. I have no one to help me. Every lawyer wants to take all my money. They just want to keep taking and taking and taking. He had a corrupt lawyer, Edmund Perea. The court doesn't care about the truth. It's about who has the most corrupt lawyer. It's not about the truth. I mean, how did Jack Schooley, the therapist in Albuquerque, John Schooley, how did he see my children during COVID in person? That's what he's telling the court. And does anybody know if Samuel Baca and Jack Schooley are related? Did they go to school together? How did they know each other? Why is he willing to go so far out and Tell the court that my kids don't want to see me. He told Judge Ramirez that my children doesn't want to see me. Connor, Caden, and Colin, I may not have the money that they have, but I'm still your mother. I'm still your mom. And the fact that you don't even read my letters and you don't even reach out to me, and he's telling the court that I abused you and I'm harassing you and you want nothing to do with me. It just validates his ego, his narcissistic ego. You have a right to see both parents. I don't know what he's putting in your minds, because you won't talk to me. No lawyer wants to help me. I have no more money for them. This is trauma. It's trauma for any mom to go through. It's trauma. I've been traumatized by the court. The New Mexico Family Court is supposed to care about the welfare of the children. They're supposed to give both parents access to the kids. But when one parent goes to court and lies and makes up allegations that are not true, and they don't allow the children under 18 to testify, then that parent, the monster parent, can say anything he wants, can make up anything he wants, because the children won't testify. And by the time the kids are 18, they have been brainwashed for so long that they believe everything they've been told. I want you to know the effects of brainwashing, the effects of parental alienation, and why it's not a crime. I love my kids. I have been fighting, but I have no more money to fight. I live in New Mexico, away from everybody, and he has his entire family here. And he can take my children to see his mother one week and his father the next. I stood by him through his father's and mother's nasty divorce. When his mother accused his father of molesting the children, I stuck by my ex. I could have left, but I believed in the vows that I took. I have never, ever, ever been so hurt. It damages you. It takes away all your trust in the legal system and the family court. I deserve to be happy too. I deserve to have my kids. But they won't talk to me. They have been so brainwashed over the last 8 years. I don't know why he's telling them they're not allowed to talk to me. What are the consequences if they reach out to me? His father is paying the phone bill. His grandfather, my kid's grandfather, so he can monitor if I call them or not. So he can go to court and he can tell Stephen Clump that I'm harassing my kids. Who does that? What kind of evil people do that? I'm paying Paul Brian Baca child support, and he doesn't even pay their phone bill. He has their father and his mother buying all of the children's clothes. He doesn't have to pay anything. His mother gave him the down payment of the house. The 4,000 square foot house. He goes to court saying he had no money, yet he lived rent-free with his father for 3 years. And he went to court and he said he had no money, that he was buying all this stuff for the children. Connor, Caden, and Colin. Baca, if you love your mom, if you have the heart that I know you have, talk to your mom. Don't let this monster keep doing what he's doing. Because he's a monster. He's an evil, narcissistic monster that gets off in hurting people. And he's been brainwashing you and controlling you and scaring you so you'll have no relationship with your mom. I gave birth to you. I carried each of you for 9 months. I breastfed each of you. Yet I have no rights as a mother because your father went to court and told the court that I abused you, that I starved you, Kaden. And then I locked my kids outside the door in the scorching heat. Yet my kids were never allowed to testify. I can't tell you what it does to the alienated parent, the damage, the psychological trauma that this has done. And New Mexico is supposed to care. New Mexico Family Court is supposed to care about the welfare of the children, but they don't even know what the kids look like. Stephen Clump would never look at a picture of the boys. He's making decisions on my children and me, yet he's never seen me with my kids. The court clinic was never involved. Guardian ad litem was never appointed. Paul Brian Baca lied through his teeth. That works in Sandia. He's a mama's boy. He's nothing but an evil mama's boy and dada's boy. I stood by him. I made sure that his clearance was squeaky clean. He always wanted me to take the blame for everything in our marriage. He said he had to keep his clearance, or if he didn't, he'd lose his job and we'd lose the house and we'd lose everything. I stayed with him even when I wasn't happy because I had the children. I didn't know that they were planning to take the kids behind my back. I had no idea. I was so naive. Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you care about your mother in any way, shape, or form, because I know you're hurting too. I know there's times that you lie down in bed and you think about me. Your father doesn't want you to talk to me because he doesn't want you to ask me any questions. That's why. He wants you to be scared. And if that is how you feel, and you want nothing to do with me, just tell me so I can have closure. Tell me. Tell me that you want nothing to do with your mom. And I'll leave you alone. And I'll never write you any letters. And I'll never make any videos. Just tell me you want nothing to do with me. And I'll leave you alone. Don't let your father turn you into him. He's evil. He's a monster. He's a narcissistic monster. He has hurt me more than anyone has ever hurt me in my life. I didn't have 3 children to be alone. I didn't know they were going to be taken away from me. I thought you go to court and you tell the court the truth and the court will... But it's not like that. I've gone through hell the last 8 years. He kicked me out of the house. I had to live in my car for 2.5 years. Then he tried to take the car from me. He wanted $13,000 for his mother's labor in the house. He made all the decisions in the house, and I had to pay for half of it, and I had no say in anything. He can take you out of the country. He doesn't have to ask my permission. I can't even have a phone call with my kids and he can take them out of the country. Their father is a monster. What he's doing is wrong. And if you care, Connor, Caden, and Colin, if any part of you cares about your mom, talk to me. Reach out to me. I've written you letters. I have posted all my letters on Instagram. I make videos. I send you money. And not one time have you ever reached out to me. Do you know what it feels like? I don't know what your father is putting in your head. I have no idea what he's putting in your head. Because he won't let you talk to me. You can call me, Connor, Caden, and Colin. You can call me anytime. He's not going to know. Use your friend's phone. Call from school. I'm not going to be mad at you. I know that you're hurting as much as I'm hurting. And I know that you have hearts just like I do. Your father gets off in knowing that I'm hurt. It feeds his ego to know that I'm hurt. Every time he won in court, it was just an ego stroke for him. He got restraining orders saying I did things. Court just gave him whatever he wants. Stephen Clump gave him whatever he wanted. No guardian ad litem was ever appointed. There was no neutral therapist. Samuel Baca got to choose the therapist. A friend of his, which is a violation. It's an ethical violation. If anybody can do anything, do it for the kids. Don't do it for me. Do it for my kids. My children deserve a mom. And I deserve my kids. You don't know what parental alienation does to people. It's trauma. The longer it goes on, the deeper the wounds. I don't even know what my kids' grades are. I don't know who their friends are. He's turned all his neighbors against me. He gets to take my kids to see his mother and his father anytime he wants. Yet I cannot. I can't even have a phone call with my children. And if I was ever to have a phone call, he'd be right there, listening to everything. I have nobody to help me. Nobody to stand up for me. No lawyer wants to get involved. They said that too many things have happened. Everything has been litigated. Everything has been litigated in his favor. Unless you have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for lawyers, you're screwed when it comes to the court system. And the more corrupt a lawyer you have, the better. Connor, Caden, and Colin, you know in your hearts that your mom loves you. You know your father is doing something that he shouldn't be doing. And the fact that he's scaring you into not talking to your mother, that tells you the kind of person he is. And I want you to know that there's two sides to every story. And the reason he doesn't want you to talk to me is because he doesn't want you to ask me any questions. I don't know what he's putting in your mind. I don't know what he's been telling you for the last 8 years. And I have no idea why he's telling you that you're not allowed to talk to me. What is he telling you is going to happen if you reach out to your mother? What's going to happen? You know, the court order said that you can talk to me anytime you want. But nobody told you that. Your father certainly didn't tell you, and your grandparents never. Instead, they told you the opposite. They told you that you're not allowed to talk to me, that you're not allowed to have any relationship. You know why? Because if you do and you ask questions, then you're going to know the kind of person he is. If you care, if there's any part of you, Connor, Caden, and Colin, Paca, that care about your mom, I'm asking you to talk to me. I'm asking you to reach out. If you never want to see me again, tell me so I can have closure. Because I never got closure. I know you need your mom, Connor, Caden, and Colin. I know that you need your mother. Your mom needs you. It shouldn't be about money. It shouldn't be about who has the most money, who can hire the most corrupt lawyer and therapist. I don't know how often you saw Jack Schooley. He's saying he saw you since 2018. I don't know. No one ever gave the records of when you saw him. And how can you see him in person during COVID when nobody else was meeting anyone in person? But that's what Jack Schooley said. I don't know how Jack John Schooley is related to Samuel Baca. And how did he get to choose the therapist? Why was there no neutral therapist? And the fact, Connor, Caden, and Colin, that he's telling you that you're not allowed to talk to your mother. You know that that's wrong. That's not what normal, healthy parents do. Normal parents do what's best for the kids. That means they allow the children to have a relationship with both parents. They don't badmouth the other parent. He sabotaged my relationship with you so he could have the better deal in the divorce, the upper hand in the divorce and the custody, so he wouldn't have to pay me any money. He could have worked with me and shared custody, but instead he's tried to, what's the word? Deflame? Is that the word? I can't remember. My character, to make court think that I'm a horrible drug addict mom. If I didn't care, why would I make videos? If I didn't care, why would I go over to the house? Why would I give you all those school supplies that they said they were going to throw out? Why would I write you all those letters that I put on Instagram? I want you to know, stand up to your father. He's a bully. What he's doing is bullying. He's teaching you to have no respect for your mom. And that's wrong. And you know in your hearts that that's wrong. He's getting away with it because the court allowed it. Armin Carrion allowed it. Stephen Klump allowed it. Deborah Ramirez and Lamar, they all allowed it. He got 99%. I got 1% because I didn't have a corrupt lawyer. And every lawyer wanted more and more money. I know that I'm a good parent, and I know that I love my kids. And I think everything I've done shows you that I love you and I care. But if you care at all, Connor, Caden, and Colin, if there's any part of you that cares, talk to your mother. Don't use your father. Don't use the phone that your grandfather pays for. Use your friend's phone and call me and show me that you care. Don't let your father continue to be a bully. Don't. And look up parental alienation and you'll see that's exactly what your father is doing. He's sabotaging your relationship with your mom deliberately to get for his own ego. Show me that you care, Caden, because I know you do. I know you have a beautiful heart. Colin, I know you have a beautiful heart too. No mom should have to go through everything Paul Reinbach has put me through. No mother should have to go through. But Stephen Club allowed it. CYFD did nothing. They said I can't prove anything. And they said there has to be a change in circumstances in order for anything to change. And the only change of circumstances, Connor, Caden, and Colin, would be if you reached out to me and you showed the court, I want my mom. But the more you are scared and the more you hide behind that fear, it feeds your father's ego and your grandfather's ego and your grandmother's. Normal people, normal loving people don't do this to other people, especially the mother of the children. Connor, Caden, and Colin, Boggy, you're half of me. You have half of me, half of my DNA. And you've been brainwashed, and I'm not mad at you. I know you have been brainwashed to think, I don't know what he's telling you, but I urge you. I urge you from my heart to call me, to reach out to me, and talk to me. That's what I urge you to do. I love you, and I love you with all my heart. But it's getting exhausting. It's a one-sided thing because nobody, Connor, Caden, and Colin, you never make any effort. You didn't even reach out to me after my father died. You didn't come to my graduation. I invited all of you. I wanted you there. Everybody else had their families there. I didn't. When I came back from Ireland after you weren't there, when I was at home, and I got to see all my nieces and nephews, but my kids weren't there, and everybody asked me, I said it was too short notice, but I could have taken you home, and you could have met all your cousins, and I would have done that. But I knew your father would never agree to it. He's a narcissist, he's a bully, and I want you to stand up to him. Do what is right, Connor, Caden, and Colin. Do what is right, because I know that you want answers too. You have questions and you have answers. And it'll show the court that you care. Do you want your father to continue to hurt your mom? I'm not mad at you. I would never be mad at you. Just because they have more money and they hired a corrupt lawyer, Edmund Perea, doesn't make them better people. Love isn't about money. There's so many children out there that would love to have a mom. So many kids. And you have a mother. But because his family have more money and you're afraid that you're going to lose the house, and he's probably telling you the same things that he told me. I want to tell you, nothing is going to happen. Nothing bad is going to happen if you talk to your mother. I assure you, nothing bad. I will take care of you. I will do everything I can to take care of you. But you need to put in an effort. You need to show the court, I want my mother. But when you do nothing, and you sit back, and you say you're scared and frightened, then nothing's going to change. Your father's going to continue to be a bully, a narcissist. He wouldn't have that house if it wasn't for his parents. The house that you're living in. He wouldn't have it if it wasn't for his mother. Just because they're millionaires doesn't make me less of a parent. I was one of 10 kids. Never got any attention growing up. But I don't think I turned out that bad. The fact that I've spent the last 8 years fighting and fighting and fighting, and nobody has ever reached out and said, Jordan, I want to help you. It's just been my fight alone. I have not had any support. Because the people that want to support me don't have the means to do that. And the people that do have the means don't care. It's not something they want to get involved with. That's what most people want. It's like it's not their problem. And they don't want to get involved. And until somebody stands up and says, Geraldine, I want to help you. I want you to see your boys. Nothing's going to change. Stephen Clump lied to me when he said I could see my kids on Sundays from 12 to 6. He lied. And he just threw everything out. And just like it was nothing. It was everything to me. It was like winning the lottery. Knowing that I could see my kids. But he just took it away like it was nothing. And then everything was passed over to Armin Carrion. And then they came up with all these allegations. And they had a therapist, Jack Schooley, go on the stand and tell the court that I abused my kids. And my kids told him that. And I knew it wasn't true. Because I knew my children would never make up things. But they wouldn't allow you to testify. So everything was my word against theirs. And then he said, well, children can reach out to you if you want. And all that time, your father and your grandparents were over there telling you that you're not allowed to talk to me. But you won't reach out to me. Kate and I thought you, of all people, would reach out to me. Do it for your brother. Do it for Colin. Don't let your father continue to be a bully. I know he's hurting you as much as he's hurting me. You know, after 8 years, the wounds are just as fresh today as they were back then. The wounds are just as fresh. I need my kids. I will always have a hole in my heart as long as I don't have that relationship. Because I know I'm a great mother. And I know that I have so much to give. And if inmates can see their children, why can't I? If there is anyone out there that's in a position to help, I would so appreciate it. If there's anybody that's in a position to do the right thing. Paul Brian Baca and his parents Samuel Baca, the ex-police chief, and his mother Ginny Schulte from a park above. They're monsters. They're damaging the children. They have spent the last 8 years turning the children against their mom. That's called parental alienation. And that not just damages the parent, it damages the children too. The children should never have been put in that situation. My kids should never have been put in that situation. He's not over there telling the children, you can reach out to your mother anytime. He's over there, Paul Brian Baca, that works in Sandia. because his Uncle Denny gave him the job. He's telling my kids, you're not allowed to talk to your mother. Who does that to kids? Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you love your mother, I know you've got a lot of confusion and I know you have a lot of hurt, but if there's any part of you that wants to know the truth, I urge you to call me from your friend's phone. I urge you to reach out to me. You know in your hearts what your father is doing is damaging and it's wrong. You know in your hearts. And I want you to stand up and I want you to do the right thing. I love you. I love you with all my heart. And I have an emptiness in my heart. A hole in my heart that's empty. Because I don't have that with you. And I watch other mothers with their kids all the time. I know I don't have those memories. No mom should ever be cut out of the kids' lives. I don't do drugs. I don't even drink anymore. I went to school for 5 years. And I still can't see you. But inmates in prison can see their kids. How's that right? Caden, do the right thing. Do it for your brother. And Connor too. Don't let your father continue to scare you. That's what I'm asking you. Don't let him do that. Because that's what bullies do. Your father is a bully. He's a narcissist that gets off on hurting your mom. And by doing that, I know he's hurting you too. I urge you to talk to me. I need closure. I don't know what he's putting in your heads, but I want you to know that I love you. I have never stopped loving you. I will always care about you, no matter what. And because I live 1 hour away and I can't even have a phone call with my kids, it's painful to know every Sunday I could have seen you from 12 to 6, but your father went to court and told the court I abused you and that you want nothing to do with me. He told the court, Connor, Caden, and Colin, he told them that you wanted nothing to do with me. That's what your father did. Anyway, I gotta go. And I just want you to know I love you and my heart breaks. And I will continue to love you. And I can't wait for the day that you reach out to me. And you can do it anytime, day or night. Call me. And I am not blaming you for anything. I'll never blame you for anything. You're not responsible for what your father has done and for what your father has put in your heads. I love you. I love you so much. And I would give anything to talk to you. Just to hear your voices. I'd give anything.